The courtroom was packed, but the silence absolutely deafening. This wasn't just another day of testimony. No, this was different. Everyone could feel it in their bones, like the walls themselves were bracing for what was coming. Even the reporters, usually scribbling furiously, just froze. Something huge was about to drop. And then the prosecutor stood up, calm, collected, but her voice carried a storm. "Your Honor," she said, lifting a sealed folder stamped with the unmistakable watermark of the FBI, "we are submitting into evidence classified documents from a joint federal operation previously sealed due to their connection with an ongoing investigation." She paused, and then the name dropped. "These documents reference Miss Kimberly Kardashian West." Gasps? Not even. It was like the air got vacuumed out of the room. Diddy looked up, his face twitching for the first time in days. Even his legal team seemed paralyzed. No one expected this to become federal, and definitely not with Kim Kardashian in the middle of it. According to the FBI, Kim had attended a private, invite-only yacht party back in 2011, one registered under a shell company linked to Diddy's enterprises. But it wasn't the party that had jaws dropping, it was who else was there. 3 individuals now under federal investigation for racketeering, surveillance crimes, and digital coercion. The prosecutor continued like a blade slicing through calm. Text threads, encrypted emails, coded language between Diddy and Kim. Same rules, right? No phones, no stories, read one message, same circle, same code, Diddy had replied. And it was her verified account. Metadata confirmed everything. This wasn't hearsay anymore. Then came the money trail, a $175,000 0 cents wire from a Kardashian trust to a shadowy consulting firm right after a Bahamas retreat hosted by Diddy. The memo? Privacy retainer. The courtroom exploded. The judge slammed his gavel, calling for order, but the damage was already done. This wasn't just about what happened in those rooms. It was about how silence was bought, coded, and maintained. And then came the whisper, the one that truly haunted everyone. If Kim Kardashian, with the most powerful legal team in the world, never spoke about what she saw, what does that say about what she saw? When the court broke for lunch, no one moved. Not one soul, because it didn't feel like a break. It felt like history just shifted. When they returned, the tone was different. No longer about Diddy alone. Now they were peeling back the glossy curtain of an entire ecosystem of secrets. And Kim's name was no longer just in the headlines, it was in the evidence. The next bombshell? An internal FBI log revealed that during a 2020 Calabasas retreat, Kim's private security coordinated directly with Diddy's team. The messages were direct: east entrance, no lenses, level 2 suppression. That term sent a chill through the room. Level 2 wasn't event planning, it was lockdown protocol. No phones, no footage, total blackout. And once again, the prosecutor posed the question everyone had started asking themselves. Why would Kim Kardashian, of all people, with all the power and protection in the world, walk into that kind of situation willingly? Then came the image. A serene photo of Kim seated by a fire pit, elegantly dressed, surrounded by men now indicted for coercion. In the background, someone was secretly recording. That someone, a whistleblower, and what they captured changed everything. Kim's voice was unmistakable. "We keep things quiet. It goes away. You just need to stay close, stay useful, otherwise people disappear." Not like that, just faded, out of the loop, reputation, silent treatment. The audio wasn't threatening, it wasn't cruel, but it was chilling. It revealed how reputations are managed, how silence isn't demanded, it's expected, it's cultural, it's professional. The prosecutor didn't shout, she didn't even raise her voice, but her words hit like a hammer. Kim Kardashian didn't build the machine, but she oiled it perfectly. And then another financial report landed, a payment of $420,000, 0 cents, from Kim's legal team to resolve a conflict involving a former Diddy staff. The consulting firm? Non-existent. The service? Labeled image risk mitigation. Translation, hush money. The judge called for recess, but no one left. Not right away. Because what they were witnessing wasn't just Diddy on trial. It was the slow unraveling of the fame-powered safety net that had shielded this entire world for years, and that shield, it now had Kim's initials all over it. The next morning, you could feel the tension. Everyone knew the trial had shifted. This wasn't just about one man's misdeeds, it was about who helped him stay hidden. And with that, the prosecution brought out the next piece. Footage from Diddy's 2019 gala. It had been marketed as a charity event, but in the background, another secret after-party had taken place. One that involved a heavily secured Zone 4A place, not listed on any public floor plan. And guess who was ushered in through the service entrance and seated with the legacy tier guests? Kim. The messages even flagged her as needing privacy, avoiding media overlap, and maintaining zone clearance. But it was the audio that delivered the next gut punch. Male voice. She knows the format. Been briefed 3 times. Kim. I'm not new to this. I know how it works. I'm here to listen, not to leak. She wasn't confused. She wasn't asking questions. She knew. She signed in, not blind, but prepared. This wasn't about being tricked or trapped. This was about being comfortable with the silence. We do not accuse Kim Kardashian of any crime, the prosecutor said solemnly. But we do confirm that she participated in environments where silence wasn't just policy, it was expected, and she complied. Even Diddy's lawyer jumped in, yelling, "Objection!" But the judge shut it down. Your client is already on trial, and the evidence speaks to the circle that protected him. There it was again, the circle. That quiet, glittering ring of influence, fame, and rehearsed discretion. Kim may not have pulled the strings, but she showed up, played her role, and left the stage spotless. And just when everyone thought it couldn't get deeper, it did. As the prosecution continued, the room had gone from tense to utterly still. No phones buzzed, no papers rustled. It felt like even the walls were listening, because now the name Kim Kardashian wasn't just hovering on the edge of this trial, it was embedded in its very core. The prosecutor held up a flash drive sealed in evidence plastic. "Your Honor," she said quietly, "this video was recovered from a private videographer's encrypted storage. It has never been made public. Until now." The lights dimmed. The screen lit up. A luxurious living room appeared. Subtle lighting, expensive art, whispers of jazz in the background. But the real focus? Diddy and Kim seated close, speaking in hushed tones. No chaos, just control. Kim's voice was calm, calculated. "I don't want footage. I don't want backlash. I'm not saying yes to anything until the privacy terms are locked." Diddy tried to laugh it off. "You already signed the blanket NDA." Kim didn't blink. "NDAs mean nothing when stuff leaks. I need this erased before I leave. Every mic, every camera." And then she said, "It's serious when your name gets tied to yours." The courtroom absorbed every word. Because that wasn't panic, it was protocol. She wasn't just protecting herself, she was protecting the system. Then came a second clip. Shorter, even more damning. Kim looked across the room, smiled, and said it with a laugh. "Everyone here knows the drill. If you're in the room, you're already protected." That wasn't casual chatter. That was confirmation. Not ignorance, not naivety. Strategy. Reputation management in real time. The prosecutor didn't yell. He didn't need to. Her voice was ice cold. When someone as powerful as Kim Kardashian walks into a room, demands blackout conditions, and then reassures others they are protected, this is not celebrity gossip. This is systemic concealment. The court watched Diddy twitch slightly for the first time in hours, because now the shine was cracking. The illusion of insulation built on fame was melting under the spotlight, and the receipts kept coming. Next, a filtered payment log showing $310,000 wired from Kim's circle to a crisis firm. 3 days after a Diddy event's surveillance footage mysteriously vanished. The subject line? Narrative prep if they flip. If they flip. If someone broke the silence. If someone told the truth. She was already preparing for fallout before anything went public. And the hits didn't stop. Emails from Kim's manager showed coordinated PR responses with Diddy's team. WhatsApp messages confirming she'd stay visible in charity campaigns to distance herself without denying anything. It wasn't messy. It was clean, choreographed. Then came the quote that would shake the courtroom to its foundation. A whistleblower's video journal, shown for the first time, blurred for privacy but clear in meaning. Kim knew, everyone did. We sent her the privacy protocols, the emoji-coded calendar, the burner schedules. She never asked why. Just asked for clearance. Clearance, that was it. No questions, just permission to enter, silence. The prosecutor faced the judge. "We're not calling Miss Kardashian a criminal, but we are saying this. Her silence wasn't accidental. It was a condition of access." And then came the final blow. A Department Department of Treasury lagged transaction, $500,000 funneled from a Kardashian family trust into a now-defunct nonprofit. The timing? 72 hours after a sealed settlement involving a Diddy staffer and allegations of digital entrapment. The nonprofit? Fake. No website, no grant, just one transaction, one erasure. It wasn't speculation anymore, it was blueprint. Then came the slide that sealed it, a blocked calendar event from Kim's assistant titled Recharge Weekend, Off-Grid Malibu, NDA Level 3. And right there on the guest list, Diddy. Again, Kim didn't just align socially. She structured her silence. She planned it like a campaign. She wore it like armor. And then, as if the universe needed one more gut punch of clarity, the final screenshot dropped. A message from Kim's manager to Diddy's fixer. She's not worried. She knows how to weather headlines. Just tell Sean. Kim doesn't panic. Kim plans. The courtroom didn't erupt. It just sank into realization. This wasn't about one man's crimes anymore. It was about how silence was sold. How power wasn't just protected, it was packaged, branded, and delivered by the very people we thought were untouchable. And Kim Kardashian? She wasn't screaming. She wasn't running. She was the calm in the storm, because she knew exactly where the fire was and how not to get burned. It was the entire system of silence he thrived in, and the woman who helped make sure no one ever